Okay, this is lesson 4.8, which is continuing with real world problems. But today we're going to work with ones that involve change. So like pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters. So just a quick recap. A penny is worth 1 cent. And 1 cent is written as $0.01. A nickel is worth 5 cents, and that's written as $0.05. A dime is worth 10 cents, which is written as 0.10, right, for 10 cents. A quarter is 25. This is my personal favorite, and that's $0.25. And lastly, a dollar bill looks like that, right, $1, which means that a $1 bill has 100 cents. So we're going to use these to do problems like today. Here's our example. A jar contains only nickels and dimes. Altogether, there are 20 coins. The total value of the coins is $1.20. How many nickels and how many dimes are in the jar? I'm going to use this last sentence to help me define my variables. How many nickels? So we're referring to N for number of nickels. And how many dimes, which means we're referring to D for the number of dimes. Okay, so jars of nickels and dimes. Let's reread and write our equations. A jar contains only nickels and dimes, nothing there. Altogether, there are 20 coins. This tells me total, that there are a total of 20 coins. So we're adding two things together to equal 20. And again, this is total coins, so we're dealing with numbers. The total value, there's another total. The total value of the coins is 120. So 120 is a total, so we're adding two things together to equal 120. This is a dollar amount. Okay. So 120 and 20, that's all we have. If we go back and reread, the jar has nickels and dimes, and there are 20 coins. So however many nickels there are, plus however many dimes there are in this jar will equal 20. But the next one's a little tougher. This is referring to money. If we think about yesterday it was like if it was $3 per adult, right? And so we'd write this as 3A. The same idea happens today where we're dealing with money. Each nickel is worth 5 cents, so it's 0.05 times N, because each nickel is 5 cents, and each dime is 10 cents, 0.10D. Now, if you're like me, you don't want to work in decimals. So instead, why don't we write $1.20 as cents? So if $1 is 100 cents, then this means $1.20 is a total of 120 cents, which makes this 5 cents for every nickel plus 10 cents for every dime. All I did really is actually move the decimal place over 2. I would much rather work with this equation than that one. So to solve the system, just like yesterday, I'm going to isolate a variable. I'll isolate N, subtract D on both sides. N equals 20 minus D. And I'm going to take that and substitute it into the other equation. 5N plus 10D equals 120 at N equals 20 minus D. Everywhere that I see an N, I'm going to substitute in 20 minus D. Distribute. I'm going to combine like terms. Negative 5D plus 10D is 5D. To isolate D, I'm going to subtract 100 from both sides. 5D equals 20. I'll divide both sides by 5, and D equals 4, meaning that there are 4 dimes. To solve for the number of nickels, I'll substitute D equals 4 into N plus D equals 20. Just because that one looks like an easier equation. Substitute 4 in for D. Subtract 4 on both sides, and you get N to equal 16. There are 16 dimes. Not too bad. Let's do a second example. I'm actually only going to write the equation. I will not be solving it. Here we go. A jar contains only quarters and nickels. Above this, I'm going to write 25 cents. Above this, I'm going to write 5 cents to remind myself that each of those are worth 25 and 5 cents. All together, there are 13 coins. The total value of the coins is $2.20. How many quarters and how many dimes, sorry, that's a typo, it should say nickels, are in the jar? So I'm going to let, based on the last sentence, I'm going to let Q equal the number of quarters and N equal the number of nickels. Okay, go back and reread. All together there are 13 coins. This is a total for the number of coins. So however many nickels there are, plus however many quarters there are, will equal 13. The total value of the coins, here's another total, is $2.25. So I know I'm dealing with change, so I'm going to change that to 225 cents. So each nickel is worth 5 cents, 5 times N. Each quarter is worth 25 cents. 25 times Q. Here's my system. So if you'd like, please feel free to solve it. I'm going to move on and do one more example. Example number 3. A jar contains only nickels and dimes. Nickels are 5 cents. Dimes are 10 cents. The number of nickels is, so that's N equals 2 more plus 2, then half the number of dimes. There it is. The total value of the coins is $2.10. This is a total. So we add two things together, set them equal to 210, and I'm going to write this as cents. So I moved it over 2 decimal spots. And I know that it's 5 cents for every nickel and 10 cents for every dime. 5N plus 10D. How many nickels and how many dimes are in the jar? So here is my system, and I would solve. Make sure that you know how to set up your system before you solve it.